Thank you, Speaker. Now, my community in Casey has been left devastated by the Albanese government's decision to break their promise on the roads for community funding in my electorate. This was $150 million to seal 150 kilometres of road, and it had bipartisan support when it was announced in 2019. And this government is not going to honour their commitment that they made and are breaking their promise. It's left my community devastated. I've been inundated with messages, so has the minister, with messages. I note some frustration from my constituents that she has chosen not to reply to them at this stage. I hope she does. And one of the great honours we have in this House is to be a voice for our constituents. And tonight I want to share the voice of Holly, who wrote to myself and the council just last week about what this decision by this government means to her. So these are Holly's words, and I thank her parents for their permission to share her story. Dear Council and Government, hi, my name is Holly and I'm 9 years old in grade 3. I live on Selby Aura Road. I think we should seal Selby Aura Road and Auravale Road because, firstly, it's really bad if you breathe in the dust, especially if you have asthma. Secondly, dust makes you cough a lot, and if there is more coughing, it means more spreading germs like COVID-19. And finally, I think it would be a lot more safe to drive on, and that way me and my friends can walk safely to school without having to worry about the dust. So those are my reasons why I think they should be sealed. I actually think all dusty roads should be sealed, but lots of people who live on these roads go to my school, which is an awesome school, and some walk to school like me, and I don't think they want to breathe dust too. From Holly. Well, Holly, thank you for sharing your words, and I'm going to continue to advocate to this government that they reinstate that funding in the upcoming budget, because you've shown the impact that these roads have on our local residents. And it's not just you that think that it improves safety. The then Shadow Minister at the time, the now Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, when he announced his support for this funding, this 10-year funding program in 2019, he said that it would improve the safety of residents in my electorate of Casey. The department were asked last December whether the sealing of these roads would improve safety for our community, and they confirmed that it improves safety for our residents. So we've got a Prime Minister and a Minister that committed to this funding. They've broken their word. They know that it decreases safety. There is clearly health benefits. Holly sums it up so well, but many residents talk about the health impacts on them from these roads not being sealed. I was fortunate to have the Shadow Minister, Senator Bridget McKenzie, with me in Mount Evelyn, and we heard from the residents on Joy Avenue about their concerns, and all through Mount Evelyn, about people using those roads as through roads, the safety dangers for them of accidents, of the dust that impacts their lives, their children, their grandchildren. We also had a roundtable with the Callista Floodwatch group, and they've been devastated by floods and by storms which are washing gravel into the drains, clogging the drains, flooding houses, making it unsafe for the residents, their houses. And every time there is a downpour, one of the impacts of that and one of the impacts of these roads not being sealed that they all talked about was the mental health impact and the anguish that they have every time there is a storm, every time the radar predicts storms. There was one resident who was on holidays down on the Mornington Peninsula and had got notification of a storm warning. He actually had to come back to Callista, to his house, to make sure that he could protect it. And in the 21st century, we just shouldn't have that. And there's an easy solution. We know the solution. It's to seal the roads. It's to improve the drainage. The money was committed. The projects were underway. Council were scoping the works for this Callista Road in particular. They were ready to go. And this decision has destroyed that hope for those residents. But I'll continue to fight, and I urge the government and Minister King to admit that she's made a mistake and to reinstate the funding in the May budget so we can continue to improve the lives of residents of Casey, so emergency services can get in and help those that need them, so residents can go about their business in a safe manner.